Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Noah Knows, the science of health and fitness. I am your swolly scientist and bearded bullshit buster. And today, what we're going to be talking about is exactly how much cardio you should actually be doing. And if you like the video, go ahead and feel free to share it.
This show is a Rochester Podcast production. For advertising information, please contact us at rochesterpodcastnetwork@gmail.com.
So, now that we know that there's really no significant difference in terms of fat loss when it comes to cardio, two normal questions we get is, well, what type of cardio should I be doing and for how long, right? Any idea on how long we should be doing cardio?
Are you talking about? Do you want me to guess for like a week total or per workout or?
Well, sure. Why don't we go with both? So, a single session and how long over the course of the week? Because both of those will be answered today.
See, what I thought was one of your days of working out, let's say, would be, or one or more days a week. Say you work out 4 days a week. I don't know, 4 days a week. I would, if I was to do it without any kind of training or guidance, I would probably make one of those full workouts cardio, only cardio.
Okay.
So 25% of my weekly workout, I would think, would be cardio for an hour.
That's actually not too far off. So I want to be very forward. The guidelines that I'm going to put forward today is based off of how to have the most amount of muscle retention while still being able to lose weight, right? So this is going to say, or this is going to be the recommendation for how to maintain the most amount of muscle size and lose weight. So it's not just like, hey, straight cardio. We're not worried about losing.
Okay.
We're not worried about losing fat loss.
Okay,
so
cool.
All right, so this is going to be based off of something called like a muscular cardio interference principle. So basically, this is something that realizes that everything we do adds fatigue, right? And cardio is great for us, but if we start doing too much at a certain point, it will start to negatively impact not only our muscle size, but our muscle strength as well. So when it comes to balancing lifting and cardio, 25%, you aren't too far off.
Okay, good.
So what? Now this is actually going to fluctuate case to case. What it's going to look at is taking or figuring out how much time you're actually lifting first. So let's say you went to the gym Monday through Friday and you worked out for an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
These guidelines set forth by PhD Eric Helms, by the way, is to limit cardio at half the amount of time spent training. So if you worked out for 5 hours, basic math, how much cardio would you be doing?
2.5 max.
Yes, absolutely. So now what we're going to look at beyond that is how to actually structure how to pick the cardio that you're doing, right?
You're saying what kind of cardio or when to put in those 2.5 hours?
So when we're looking at when it's okay to implement HIIT and when it's okay to implement steady state.
Okay.
And if you do not know what HIIT or steady state is, go back to our previous video and you can go ahead and we have the definition and the differences between the two. So go ahead, check that video out. So basically what this mandates here is that for moderate steady state cardio, we can do up to 1 hour. 1 hour of steady state at a time. It's not saying you have to do an hour, but that is the maximum amount of time,
Okay.
right? So you can break that up however you want. If you want to do half an hour each day or every other day or whatever it is. Now, remember in the previous video when we're talking about high intensity training, because it is more intense, it's more fatiguing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we know that steady state should be capped at an hour, what do you think the max duration of HIIT should be?
Well, an hour and a half if we're
No, so HIIT is more intense than steady state.
more intense than steady state.
So it's going to have greater amount of
Oh
fatigue.
yeah, okay. Because based on what I learned in the last episode, I would say a good guess is 20 minutes.
Pretty close, pretty close. So this is this caps HIIT cardio at no more than 30 minutes.
Damn, I was gonna say 30.
No more than 30 minutes per session max twice a week. So HIIT training should be capped at 30 minutes and no more than twice a week. Now, it would be really important that we prioritize HIIT not to be around like our heavy workouts, right? So let's say you have squats the following morning. It's probably not the best idea that the previous night to go do half hour of high intensity interval training, right? So you may want to prioritize like the day before or even like the morning before a workout, you know, if you're doing your cardio to do steady state.
Do you have an opinion on the opposite? If you flip them, would it be a bad idea to do HIIT the day after squats? Or is it should they be polar in the workout? Should they just be away from each other?
It honestly it depends on how you have your routine set up, right? It's beneficial to try and get the most amount of recovery possible. So whatever the most demanding exercise or routine that we're going into, we have the best chance of having good intensity and an effective lift, right? So guys, I just want to reiterate that this muscular interference, this is how to maintain the greatest amount of muscle retention while still being able to lose weight. So, you know, some people may be like, oh, I do an hour every day. Well, I mean, that's great, but it may not be the optimal way to go about doing things. So leave us with what your favorite type of cardio is.
See, for me, I hate the thought of just doing something just for the workout, to be honest with you. So if you can rope me into a basketball game, and I'm not a big, you know, traditional sports guy, I skateboarded like for the first half of my life. So that if I got back into skateboarding, I could do that twice a week, but I'm, you know, 31 years old almost. I don't think I'm going to get back into skateboarding just for the fact that I'm 31 and 6'3". It's a long way to the ground, especially at 230 or whatever I am. But if you could rope me into something, backyard football, whatever,
backyard wrestling,
where I'm doing something that just so happens to, involve cardio, that is your best shot at getting me to get moving.
And that, I mean, you hit the nail on the head here. Is much like diet and training and cardio, sustainability and adherence is going to be the greatest factor long term. So, if you enjoy doing HIIT, and that's what gets you to do your cardio, do your HIIT.
Sure.
If you enjoy doing steady state or kickboxing or wrestling, whatever it is, right? If that's what you, and even skateboarding in your case, right? If that's what gets you active, that's what you should be doing. These are more guidelines than just black and white, like boom, boom, boom. This is the only way that it has to be done.
Which is good. You get an option.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, you let us know, how long do you think you should be doing cardio? All right, guys, I love you. We'll see you on the next one.